You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show on the Vets on Media Network.
I looked out this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music to start my day. And lost myself in a new song. I closed my eyes, I slipped away. Hi, how are you? Thought I'd start off a little bit different this morning. This is Brian Hazelgren. I'm here with Shane Chance.
Howdy.
You know, we just got to start off things a little bit different. Got to make sure everyone's paying attention. That's the whole point of that. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Well, good. It's a great day. It's an awesome day in Arizona. A lot of fun. We're here to have a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show, where we discuss all kinds of cool, fun things about small business and how we run a small business and to successful levels and not into the ground like other small businesses can often do. But we're here to help you dramatically change your outlook on how to run a small business in a successful manner. We're also here to help you engage other opportunities that you may want to think about or how to grow your business. There's also some fun points that we want to cover today as an add-on from our last show that we put together. And as Shane and I were discussing some of the areas that would be really helpful for small business was we kind of wanted to go back to the basics. And going back to the basics meant that we also look at how we target our markets of who we market our products and services to. So that's going to be the topic of the show today. But before we get into all of that, again, I'd like to welcome my co-host and confidant on the show here, Shane Chance. Welcome. Glad to have you here again.
Thanks. Sounds like we get to do a little target practice today.
We are doing some target practice. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, that is Shane's title that she came up with. Target practice, the art of identifying your target market. It was kind of interesting when she told me that. When she said target practice, I first thought of going out to the shooting range. And what are we going to talk about a shooting range for? So she had to clarify a little bit that it was a little bit more than that. But target practice, the art of identifying your target market, but really creating your own destiny with your own small business and how you're growing your small business. But we literally, if you look at an investor who wants to figure out where you're going with this opportunity, one of the first questions, in fact, there's 15 questions that as an investor, I've always gone from 15 all the way down to 1. If
as opposed to 1 all the way up to 15.
Or that too. You can go from 1 to 15. You can
Just
go 15 down. You can reverse it. It's interchangeable. just to make it easy.
It's going to be one of those days, I can tell.
The point that I was trying to make was that it's like the third or fourth question that I would always ask is, who's your market? Who are you targeting?
Who's your target audience?
Who are you going to sell your products and services to? And why are you going after that specific market when maybe I had another idea of your product or your service might be better suited to go to a different market focus?
Well, and when you come back to what you talked about, their biggest question, if they're going to loan you money, is how am I going to get my money back and how soon? And if you don't have somebody buying your product or your service, there's no return on investment.
And there's no money available.
And there's to anybody, actually.
So that's going to be the topic of today's show. But again, before we jump into all of the fun things we're going to discuss here in the next hour, once again, big shout out to our unbelievably awesome military personnel, both serving currently in active duty and those who are veterans. Again, we thank you and your families for your service, keeping our country free, keeping us the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Including Matt, who was helping us when we saw him on our last show.
Yeah, that's right.
And he has actually left this morning to go and continue to serve our country. So thank you, Matt, in particular.
And of course, thank you to our CEO of Vets on Media Network, Adam Bird, and for his wisdom and his knowledge and his service in the military as an Army sergeant, and all the great things that he has done and continues to do as a veteran. So, and also again, we want to thank all the entrepreneurs of the world who are tuning in, who are hopefully learning something new from our goofy ways of shedding some light on some fun topics and topics that we all need to be aware of. But we appreciate you joining us today. We think this is going to be kind of a fun little topic. And the reason why is I wrote a book back in, I think I finished this book back in 2006. It's called Tactical Entrepreneur. And by the way, it's right here. If we're going to be highlighting this, a couple of sections out of this book today. Tactical Entrepreneur. We'll put this on the website. And by the way, this is normally a $24 book. This is going to be at a pretty much unbelievable discount to all of our listeners that we'll talk about later on. But one of the sections in this book, and if we were actually to turn page 37, I think, yeah, page 37. I wrote it a while ago.
I'm amazed.
This is chapter 3. It's called Targeting Your Market. So when Shane brought this up a few days ago, I said, well, yeah, I kind of know a little bit about that. Maybe we could talk about that and see if we can help all of our listeners get back to the basics on how they run a successful small business. There's about 12 pages in this particular section, and we're only going to cover a few areas in here. But one of the areas that we wanted to first start off with is identifying really what a target market is, or target marketing. It's basically the marketing method that we all come up with as a small business owner, where we actually market to consumers based on research that we've done of people's interests, maybe their age group, their age bracket, what their average income may be, where they live, do they travel, some of their hobbies. And as we're doing that research, we also look at, well, really, what are their wants and their needs? So target marketing is based on that research that we start to realize what people do and why they would want our products and services.
Well, that's a critical point, because honestly, if you just decide to take whatever you have and throw it out there, and you don't have somebody in mind that's going to be a specific audience for what it is that you're trying to sell or some service that you're trying to provide, you're going to go downhill really quick.
Right.
This is the key word that you said in all of that is research. And I don't know that there are a lot of us out there that like to do a ton of research, but this is one area that research is highly critical so that you can actually target a specific, whether it's a group, whether it's my group, it could be age group, it could be demographics, it could be any number of things, but you have to know who your market is that you want to sell and market your product or service to.
Yeah, doesn't it also really come down to target marketing being a way to attract customers who are going to buy what you're selling?
Absolutely. That's the whole point.
How do you attract that specific group of people, or even that individual, to reach in their wallet, pull out their credit card, reach in their purse, pull out their checkbook, whatever it may be? Why are they going to spend money with you and your company buying your products and services? It's based on how you have attracted them. And which is not only just from reaching out to them with marketing, but what does your packaging also look like?
Well, the whole point is conversion. It doesn't matter who you bring to the table. If you can't convert them, like you said, to actually pull out their credit card or their cash or whatever and purchase, then you've lost a sale.
Yeah, I think we need to get back to that initial word again, research. When you're doing research, you're putting together an analysis of your market. Please, folks, don't underestimate the time that you need to spend here, because this part is huge. But it's well worth it. I trust me, it's well worth taking the time and the effort to research really who your market is and why, again, they are going to buy your products and services over someone else. So hopefully you're listening to the show because you're serious about growing your business or launching your business. But this is kind of a good place for us to start to really to help all of our listeners focus on not only growing their business, but hey, maybe even world domination. How about that? Okay. Maybe a little too far. Okay.
Only if you're not a Jedi Master, who knows?
All right. Well, one thing that we wanted to talk about was identifying that market, but not just identifying who the market is. We want to share a few stories of some businesses that we have had and currently have, why we've reached out to certain markets, and our message that we had to craft up in the beginning stages of this. And not only that, but honing that message down, because sometimes we as small business owners think, well, our product is awesome and our product everybody will want it. I mean, those of you that are viewing this, you see a couple of different bottles here. Well, maybe we won't show all the ads. They haven't paid advertising for us, so they're not going to see it. No, I'm just kidding. But if you look at those different sizes of bottles, for example, this could probably be universal to really anyone. But that one is probably more focused on the athletic individual who's out running and just wants to squirt in their mouth. This one, the colors, not only
visually appealing.
It's visually appealing. Not only the colors of the particular drink, but the colors of the label, and then just drinking more because it's got a wide mouth top. I don't know. There's some marketing studies that people have done. The heavy drinker.
Exactly. Glad we have your attention now, Adam.
For the heavy drinker, there's the wide mouth top to really pound down the juice as fast as possible.
No. Okay.
So kind of, pardon me for doing that in the microphone. The actual, in the book, Tactical Entrepreneur, and even in a lot of our workshops, we talk about not only who we're targeting, but how we're targeting them, why we're targeting them, where do they live, and what type of buying patterns do they have? What type of behaviors do they have? So we want to cover those in a little bit of detail. The who is really the demographics. Who lives in a certain areas. For example, if you own an ice cream shop, or you own a sandwich shop, or you own a flower shop, or you're a realtor in a particular area, or an attorney in a particular area, sometimes you need to focus your message on who is in that radius of your market. Now, in other companies, if you're doing import-export, the world is your oyster. And you may be marketing to everybody across the entire globe, which is also fine. But again, we have to find out who they are, where they're physically located. And in some cases, even if you have an internet-based business, the location may not matter as much because they're going to order online and you can send them the product. So that may not matter as much. However, it does matter if there's a cultural issue and they may not want to purchase your product because it doesn't fit within their culture. The color scheme may be wrong. The name may be wrong. The size of the product may be wrong, whatever it may be. And even the service that you provide may not work in a specific culture or a geographical reason or area. So that's that first part, the who. Second one we wanted to cover is the where. The who and the where are kind of interchangeable sometimes because where obviously is where they're living, and we've been discussing that. But I think maybe we want to focus a little bit more time and attention on the psychographics. That's a term that I remember learning back in college, and at first I said to the professor, "Wait, what did you just call us? You call us all psychos?" So I had a little bit of a challenge with that. And no, I'm not graphically enabled, so I don't understand what that word means. Well, fast forward a few decades, and now we understand what psychographics means. And really what we want to talk about there is, why do customers make the choices that they make? Sometimes when it comes to clothing, when it comes to even purchasing a home or buying a car, the color or the style or the trend may be what enables people to buy a product.
Well, and part of the reason, Brian, seriously, that you have to figure out who your target market is and why that really matters is because when when you lead into another aspect of small business, it's marketing. And there are a variety of layers to marketing, just like there are a variety of layers to the target audience. If somebody wants to market to a female versus a male, depending on what it is, they may market it very, very differently. And that kind of comes back to, like you said, colors and sizes and styles and everything else like that. That comes into that marketing aspect, which we'll do in another show. But there are primary and secondary target markets too. And we want to be aware of those. We'll talk about those, I'm sure, a little bit later. But, you know, especially with the business that I have, and we can go into that, you know, additionally to understand who is our primary target audience and then who is our secondary target audience and why.
That's the point right there. Why?
Why
Do they buy? Okay, we went to the convenience store before we came on air. You grabbed the Sobe with a particular color.
You grabbed this no-name brand.
Okay, this
thing
no-name
here.
brand. Sorry, again, no advertising. You know, maybe they will advertise now.
That's true.
Let's call them up.
We'll do a product thing on this.
Let's do a product review.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, see, wasn't that refreshing? And you really
Bird.
But why did you choose that? I mean, I grabbed a water. I just wanted water. That was good with me. And this size of bottle is exactly what I wanted. This was brought to us as we walked in, which is also awesome. It's still water. When water's water, right? At least we think so. That's what we've been told. But, you know, the bottles are different in size, and you wanted to have the sugar in your drink. I didn't want that. However, what drew you to that bottle versus a water bottle or the 1,800 other bottles that were staring in front of you as you were standing in that long row of bottled beverages that you could have purchased? What drew you to that?
Well, the truth is you have to go all the way back to the beginning of this particular brand because it was marketing when it first came out. It's totally different now than it was when we first came out because we were even talking about the fact that this was in a glass bottle versus a plastic one when it originally came out. But their marketing was really what originally drew me to that. So like I said, that's definitely a topic for a future show. But for me, it was flavor. I mean, once I got past that, there was a whole bunch of flavors, and I have some specifics that I really like. And so there were ones I tasted, did the whole taste test thing. Again, we're back to the product analysis thing. But that's really what kept me coming back, because when it was done, it met, believe it or not, when we're talking about psychographics, it met a psychological need in me, whether it was the sugar, whether it was the specific flavor, whatever. So when you are targeting somebody, you really have to know your product inside and out. And again, you have to go back and do the research on who it is that you are trying to get that out to.
So would you be considered a loyal customer of that particular company and sells that type of drink?
I'm probably a loyal customer of that particular drink from that particular
Okay, that particular color, that particular label, that particular flavor. So you're a loyal customer. So that's part of the psychographics. We as business owners want to figure out how we can get to that customer, not only once, but twice, but
get them hooked.
Hundreds of times over and get them hooked. Have we figured that out? That's the real question. Whether providing a service, whether we're providing a product, are we hooking them to a point where they're going to come back again and spend more money with us?
Or are we able to bring them in once and then continue to funnel them in directions from there that would continue to allow them to be a repeat customer at some level?
And so we, as the entrepreneurs or the managers of a particular product brand, we need to figure out what benefits we're providing to our customers. And that benefit may just be as simple as, okay, I love the taste of this.
Yep.
That's it. Well, we need to spend time in thinking through not only just what it looks like, how we position the product, how we try to beat out the competition so that someone will buy our product over someone else's, but we really probably should start outlining what those benefits are. And those benefits, although maybe tangible, could also be in our literature, on our Facebook pages, on our websites, so that people can actually read what those benefits are all about.
Well, and again, we have to know, is our benefit greater taste? Is our benefit lower cost? Is our benefit faster delivery? Is our benefit something that's unique that we offer that no one else does? So there's a lot of aspects to knowing and understanding what our market is.
Well, and that based on that point there, what is the need? Are we fulfilling a market need?
Or creating one.
Or creating one, like you pointed out so many times before that I keep forgetting. Thank you again. It's really the how. So we've talked about the who, the where, the why. The why would be the psychographics. Now we're going to lead into the how, or the behavior patterns. What are the buying patterns of people? Have we figured that out as a small business owner? As we start to look at what the how would be in this next segment, we want to tee this up, get ready to go. Wait, tee it up. That sounds like we should go golfing sometime this afternoon. By the way, we are going to have a cool golf tournament. We'll talk about that at the end. For now, we're going to cut to break. We appreciate everybody who's with us. When we come back from break, we are going to talk about the how of targeting our markets and the behaviors. My name is Brian Hazelgren. I'm here with Shane Chance. You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey, everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
Veterans served us, now it's time we serve them. As a veteran of Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a current military member deployed abroad, I would like to take a minute of your time to tell you about Patriot Hills of New York. Patriot Hills of New York is a nonprofit organization providing support to veterans and their families. They partner veterans in need with over 65 health and wellness organizations, community groups, as well as philanthropic foundations providing no or low-cost services. They've helped over 400 veterans through confidential referral services, assistance with veterans issues, employment placement, as well as educational opportunities. If you need assistance or just want to help veterans by donating your time or services, contact them at info@patriothills.org. Again, that's info@patriothills.org. Visit patriothillsofnewyork.com for more information about their services or how you can donate. Our veterans deserve no less. We can give it to them, and you can help.
You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show on the Vets On Media Network.
Oh, are we on? I'm sorry. I was sitting here reading my book. I was really entrenched in, by the way, Tactical Entrepreneur. Just wanted to let you know about that. It'll be on sale after the show. Shameless plug here.
Another one.
Anyway, folks, welcome back. I'm Brian Hazelgren along with Shane Chance. We're discussing target practice, target marketing, and targeting the right type of customer that you want to sell your products to.
The humble customer.
The humble. Why you? Okay, so I need to take a lesson there. All right. Stop reading my own book. Okay. That wasn't obvious at all, was it?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Before we went to break, we were discussing the how of targeting your market, or the behaviors of your customers. And really, we've got to get back to, again, the basics. How do your customers behave? why, and not good or bad behavior. I'm talking about how they behave when they
You were looking at me when you said that.
when they see your product or your service.
How did this show go south all of a sudden?
It started off with me trying to do my Southern drawl. Hi, how are you?
And it did. It went downhill from
Went
there.
downhill from there. But customers are buying our products to fulfill a need that they have.
Sorry, Adam, we'll work on bringing the horse back into the corral.
Put that bridle back on, bring the horse back in. But the area that we were kind of starting to go down the path of before break was how we're fulfilling that need with the products that we offer, or our services that we offer. I want to get down a little bit deeper into this, and how do we not only identify our target markets, but I want to focus just a little bit here, Shane, for a minute, on our unique selling advantage. And you may have heard this referred to as a unique selling proposition or USP. I just changed it because unique selling advantage, what is your advantage over the competition, also turns out to be a little bit patriotic because it stands for USA. So we like both of those together. Unique selling advantage. By the way, it's in my book, Tactical Entrepreneur. Okay, I'll quit it.
Okay, maybe this would be a time to go into our passion for what we do and what we sell.
That's probably a good idea.
Because honestly, I love that about you. You're very passionate about your work. You're very passionate about the entrepreneurial world and the business world and working with people. And as we've gone to meetings and we've talked to people, the cool thing about it is that your passion for what you do really comes out. You will take the initiative. You will move forward. You will put together, some of these business plans that we've talked about, or spreadsheets and things like that. As we go to these meetings and talk to these people, it's just, you can see in the way that you interact with them, the excitement that you have for what you do. And I'm going to tell you, regardless of anything else, that passion can come sometimes, and more often than not, is one of your biggest sellers, especially if you can get right in front of your potential clients.
Last week we just wrapped up a business plan competition here in Arizona with a lot of high school kids that had participated with that. And we were asked by one of our really good friends at Heritage Academy, Jared Taylor, to put together a competition, which literally is the first for the entire state. It was called the Arizona Young Entrepreneurs Challenge. And that's interesting that you bring that up, because the kids will see that as we're doing the workshops, and they see somebody who is been there, done that, viewed to be somewhat successful, whether true or not. we were able to talk to the kids and their parents about entrepreneurship in general, creating jobs, finding a market need and solving that need or that problem through entrepreneurship, through their own innovative designs. And what really was cool about, as we wrapped up that particular competition, the parents and the family members and the students that had participated from a bunch of different high schools here in the Valley literally stood up and gave a standing ovation, because they had participated in a competition when we wrapped it up that taught them new things. And that word passion kept coming up, that how excited they were, because we're excited about what we're doing and running small businesses. And it gets back to that same point that we as a nation need to stop relying on the government to bail us out, or to give us a job, or to do whatever that takes to have our hand out and be entitled. That's not part of our mentality. Our mentality is, let's go find a business, let's go start it, let's create a solution to a market need that's out there. And by so doing, that passion will also help us, like you said earlier, hone in on who that target market actually should be.
Well, and that excitement and passion is contagious. You saw that in that training. Everybody was so excited by the energy that was being exhibited by those that were participating, and you and Jared and everybody that was putting this on. That energy, that excitement, that passion draws people in, and it's the reverse of a negative mob mentality.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way.
That's a good way to look at it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the same type of idea, only with a positive slant.
Okay, I love that. So how do we take that unique selling advantage? By the way, as we talk about unique selling advantage, what I want to make clear on this is that we as business owners, from ourselves as the CEO all the way down to the person that answers the phone, every one of us, every person in our company needs to clearly understand what the unique selling advantage is of our business. Why are people going to open their purse, their wallet, their pocket, and give us cash, a credit card, a checkbook, whatever it may be? Why are they going to view our product and our service unique or different, that has an advantage over the other competitive products? As we walked up, literally seeing thousands of bottles in this very long row of different types of beverages, not just water, but every type of beverage, that liquid that would fit into a bottle. Why did we choose those? It comes back to the same reason why we need to figure out what our unique selling advantage is. It's not just saying that we're the best. It's not just saying that we have the coolest product or the greatest marketing plan. That's not it. It's what are the benefits that we want to tell the consumers about. Is it a handmade product? Is it something that takes there's a nutraceutical product that is awesome, actually. And what their marketing ploy is that it takes them 96 hours to assimilate the product or to put the product together before it goes into the bottle. Everyone else is somewhere between 3 to 12 hours. Well, it takes them 96 hours to get the right formula in the right mixture and the right size of capsule, and they needed to have additional capital available in order to get to that process. But now they can tell people, you know what, we're 96 hours to put all these ingredients together in that little capsule. Yeah, it costs more in capital, human capital and physical capital, to put it together, but now they're crushing it. They're doing great. And that's part of their unique selling advantage.
Right. And sometimes the person, as we discussed in an earlier show, the young man that was in your class that decided not to become an entrepreneur, but came on the corporate team of another company, developed something that was unique. It was the first e-card. And so, like I said, sometimes it's creating that cool next thing.
Right.
Sometimes it's, as you say, it's seeing a need that's out there and solving that need. So as we're targeting, especially if you're thinking about starting a business and you're thinking about what makes me different, I was excited the other day because when I was looking for some stuff that I put on my Facebook page, on my business Facebook page for people who are following that, there was several apps that had come out for and in defense of women that they could have that could be downloaded and installed right on their cell phones. And it's something that they could have because, when we're walking anymore, most people have their cell phones. A lot of them have them right in their hands. So if something were to happen, it's just really a click of the button. And so,
by the way, previous show, if you want to download that, make sure that you view the show about not just mobile friendly, but mobile first. Just a little plug there.
Another little subtle plug. So, but the cool thing about that is that we see people, if you're one of those that are thinking about starting a business, want to start a business, want to get something going that's really cool, part of it comes, like you said, looking around. How do we solve some of the needs that are out there? And your product or service may end up being something that's very unique. But in addition to that, you may just have one of those very creative minds. And in having a very creative mind, you may be able to put together something that nobody had ever thought of.
So let's talk about unique selling advantage and why we decided to come on to Vets on Media Network.
Okay.
And we had been approached by 6 different types of radio talk shows to do this show.
Yeah, and ironically, you and I had been approached by the same person before we ever even met as one of those.
So
that's true.
What's the unique selling advantage of what Adam has put together? Number one, it's Adam, and we're good friends.
Right,
and
Adam's
trust him.
unique.
We can trust him, and we know that he'll be very passionate about what he does. Vets on Media Network also has other shows, and we also just happen to have a foundation that we serve veterans.
Right.
In training and education for starting and launching a business, for growing a business, and for, if they're not ready to start a business, helping them find employment. Well, that was part of the unique selling advantage that resonated to us because we could not only just work with veterans, but also active duty, but also their spouses, but also their children. And now it started to broaden out a little bit more, not just Go Vets Radio. It now then became, it was pretty unique because now we can focus on lots of different types of entrepreneurs. And that particular unique selling advantage that Adam convinced us on were the benefits, the marketing, the Facebook page, the downloadable shows, the archive shows on YouTube. I mean, the list goes on. And none of those other things were provided to us as business owners, as radio talk show hosts, that Adam provided. And
Right.
so that became a unique selling advantage in our own minds, that this is where we wanted to bring my limited talent and your vast talent on the air to help educate more people about entrepreneurship.
And somehow we were actually counter-sold.
Hmm.
So what we have brought to the table was very appealing to Adam, but what Adam brought to the table was also very appealing to us. So
Yeah.
it made an incredible win-win scenario, which is what you're always looking for in creating and building and maintaining those clients or those business relationships, because that's what makes them long-term.
Mm-hmm. So now we're starting to see a little, now that we've gone down the road here on the show, we're starting to see a lot of companies that want to come on to the show to either be interviewed or B, show a product review.
Mhm.
We're going to start doing more product reviews because that's the way we not only can help educate and even entertain the listeners, but there's a lot of products out there that people don't know about. And we'll focus on those products because they have a unique selling advantage over what maybe the other competition may bring to the table. We'll bring them on. We'll have them do the product reviews. But probably more importantly, it's not just about, how do they market to a specific target. It's what is their unique selling advantage and why is this such a good product and why would we even want to bring it on the show? So those are some of the areas we want to talk about in future episodes, as well as that unique selling advantage that we may have as a small business owner and that these products may also have.
Well, and it's nice because then we allow people to be able to see what other people are doing that has made a difference or that is making a difference, and how they came about even reaching the point that they did of having the product or having the service and then getting to our show.
We're going to cut to break in just a moment, but before we do, let's kind of tee this next section up. And that would be not just targeting the right market, but how do we build a loyal customer base? Because we've done that in our businesses. We want to actually talk about a little bit of a case study. And one of those case studies is a company that most women are familiar with. Men may not be familiar with it unless their spouses or significant others or their kids or their daughters go shop at this particular place. But they have built a loyal customer base from a very, very simple marketing strategy.
Yep.
And this is a global company now. And there's so many women that go to this particular place, but and let's just say what it is. We're going to talk a little bit about a case study for Sephora and why they market to women the way they do, and the very simple thing that they are doing quite amazingly, not just from the social media aspect, because they have brick and mortar too. You can physically walk in there at all malls and shopping malls across different parts of the world, especially here in the United States. But they draw the women in because they have figured out how they can get tried and true customers that will not only be loyal, they'll continue to spend more and more money with them based on a couple of simple concepts. Those simple concepts we're going to discuss when we come back. But in this particular example, many women shop at Sephora, and they do so because they like the products. And the products are makeup and skincare products. So is there anything else I'm missing on
So
that?
it's not like it's a unique line of
not unique,
products at all.
not unique, but their marketing strategy is very simple and very unique following on our unique selling advantage. And we want to discuss that when we get back.
And their target market is extremely focused.
Yes, very focused. Okay, so getting that all ready to go right now. Cut to break. I'm Brian Hazelgren with Shane Chance. You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show.
Veterans served us. Now it's time we serve them. As a veteran of Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a current military member deployed abroad, I would like to take a minute of your time to tell you about Patriot Hills of New York. Patriot Hills of New York is a nonprofit organization providing support to veterans and their families. They partner veterans in need with over 65 health and wellness organizations, community groups, as well as philanthropic foundations providing no or low-cost services. They've helped over 400 veterans through confidential referral services, assistance with veterans issues, employment placement, as well as educational opportunities. If you need assistance or just want to help veterans by donating your time or services, contact them at info@patriothills.org. Again, that's info@patriothills.org. Visit patriothillsofnewyork.com for more information about their services or how you can donate. Our veterans deserve no less. We can give it to them, and you can help. Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey, everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552. Or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show on the Vets On Media Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show. You're here with Shane Chance and Brian Hazelgren. We're having not only a fun time during the break, as usual, but we're bringing it back around to discuss the case study of Sephora, who sells makeup and skincare products to women, hopefully mostly just to women. But we won't go down that path for just a minute. We'll talk about what their unique marketing focus is. And so let me ask you, Shane, since you are the expert in this area, I probably could use a little makeup on my forehead so the glare isn't so bright for all the audience, but sorry about that. Maybe I'll wear a wig next time. But if I were to ask a group of women why they shop at Sephora, the answer probably would not be that they have the most unique line of products. It probably won't be because they actually have the best selection of maybe some unique products. And it may not even be because they offer free shipping if you are ordering online, because actually you need to order at least $50 worth of products from what I understand. So it probably isn't those three things. There's probably a list of other ones that I could write down or ask you, but my understanding why women love to shop at Sephora in our particular case study. By the way, have we asked them to be an advertiser yet? Because we need to after this show. They're going to get a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So really, if I were to ask that question, why do you shop at Sephora? It would probably come down to these two reasons, which is my understanding, is that they get really good free samples.
Yep. Freebies.
They get a lot of freebies, and the larger the purchase, the more the free samples they get. So it's a free samples issue. And by the way, they get those free samples are changing all the time. It's not just the same free samples every time you go there, which is my understanding as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they have a loyalty reward program. You accumulate points that you can use towards your next purchase. Okay, so remember when we went to break and we talked about a very simple but unique marketing strategy? It really comes down to those things. Lots of free samples, which women love, and they're ever changing, and that they accumulate the rewards points. So am I stating that correctly?
And we can pretty much tie it up in one word, which is benefits.
Okay.
So what they offer is benefits, and they play with the psychological mind of a person who it's like when you go into a store, and in your mind, you know that, yes, this is marked down, but you know somewhere they marked it up so that they could mark it down. We still psychologically think that we're getting a break, a discount, a benefit, because we're paying less than the originally marked price, even though we know that it was marked up to be marked back down. It's the same thing as when you're going to be selling something you don't sell it for $10, you sell it for $9.99, because there's somewhere in our psyche that we go, oh, because it's under $10, it's an okay thing to purchase, or it's an affordable purchase. The other thing is that sometimes we do what we call justification. So we will go into, take an example like Sephora. We go in there and we know, yes, we're spending a little bit more, but we're expecting that we're going to get that savings on the back end through those reward points. So we know what's going to happen now is that we in our mind, we justify the higher expense because on the end, we're getting some freebies, and we'll be able to get a discount or free product later on with the points that we're building. So what they have done is create a system within their store that appeals to the psyche of the average individual, and it would be male or female. You could do the same thing with a male-driven product. And somewhere in our mind, we're going to analyze it and justify it if it makes sense to us, because we can explain away why we are spending maybe a higher amount for something that, like you said, is not necessarily more unique, not necessarily better, not necessarily more diverse or anything else like that, but is simply more expensive. We've justified the cost in our mind because A, we're getting free product, and B, we're going to be able to get more free product in the future or discounted product in the future through our rewards points.
Okay, so back to the rewards points. Is that overused? Okay, I get rewards points when I use my credit cards. I get rewards points when I travel on a certain airline or go to a certain hotel, stay at a certain hotel, or the list is long where we get those rewards points. Does that ever get old?
Well, I don't know. They're still using it and it's still working because people are still accepting it. But
so I think the answer is no, it never gets old. And it doesn't really matter what the industry is.
The irony is it's at this point, it's almost expected. It's like we all said, how stupid was it, when one person came out with it, it was unique. Now everybody's doing it. It's like, if you don't do it, it's like get caught up with the times. You are way behind because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. So it's almost at some level somewhat mandatory. I think what makes it unique is because it's probably one of the few makeup and cream lines that do it rewards points type system. Most of them, if you think about it, don't do those types of things. They all have their little spoofs and they're all have their little benefits. And that's what keeps people coming back. It's the benefits.
So to focus on the women entrepreneurs of the audience and even the men who want to have good products for the women in their lives, maybe we should call up Sephora and say, hey, free samples coming our way so that we can give out for you. Might be a good way to
what you can already get in the store if you go there. No.
Well, they can get it from us. We'll just have them ship it. That's right. One of the things that we also do, as many of our listeners know, we have through our foundation for our veterans, we have the Go Vets branded beef jerky. And when we go to those shows that we have, we always give out free samples because in most people's minds, jerky is jerky. You take a bite of it, you tear it off, you chew it for 5 minutes and spit half of it out because it's too hard. It's like leather. Our jerky is very soft. And as soon as they have that free sample that they try, oh, okay, I think I need some of that. And then
This
they'll
is different.
buy the bag and they'll walk away. And 2 minutes later, they pounded down the whole bag and they want 3 more. But it comes back to those free samples.
Right. So when you're thinking about targeting specific audiences, and you're thinking about things that you can give away as side benefits, those are going to be things that are going to bring people back. But they are only going to be things that are going to bring people back if it's something they will use,
Right.
or in your case, something that they will continue to eat. It's a little bit different when you are sometimes doing it with a service. A service may not work the same way. It may be something where you have to get discounts, or if you commit to a package, you get a discount, or so again, it's part of it comes back to knowing and understanding your product or your service and the market that you're trying to reach, so that once you reach that audience, you know not only how to get to them, but how to keep them coming back.
So Sephora has clearly tapped into the benefits side that they
Absolutely.
offer, and they've clearly tapped into the psychographics of targeting their specific market. One thing that I believe that I've seen, at least online, that they do pretty well is they also have a lot. They have reviews up to 5 stars, and they have a lot of 5-star ratings. And we as consumers now, for some reason, will go online and look at all the reviews of people we've never met, don't know who they are. And if they give a great review, then we're going to say, oh, well, maybe okay, I'll spend my money on that product. Well, Sephora also does a great job in not only targeting future buyers, future customers, but they also allow people to tell others about what their product is all about and give a review.
Yep. Reviews and referrals. Those
Okay.
are big things right now.
There you go. So anyway, we've covered a lot of ground here on targeting our specific markets. We've talked about the who, the what, the where, the why, and even the how, or the behaviors of people. We've also talked a little bit about the benefits and the unique selling advantages that we have of our products. Make sure you review these areas. And we also will post an overview of some of these notes. It's a little article that we put together on how to target your market. That'll be on vetsonmedia.com. It'll be on our show site. If you click the shows tab and go down to Entrepreneurs Radio Network, you'll be able to download a copy of this. And then not to forget about the 5-star reviews that we can also offer to our customers as they're buying things. So it's been a fun topic. It's obviously gone pretty fast here, actually.
Speaking
And-
of 5-star reviews, I think that anybody who would like to go on and give us a 5-star review on our Facebook page is welcome to do that.
gets a free copy, maybe.
Or could
of
get a free copy of Brian's
Tactical Entrepreneur.
Yes, entrepreneur
Thank
book.
you for that
So-
selfless plug again.
Yeah, no, we would. No, we would. The feedback, you guys that are out there are our target audience.
Right.
You are coming to us. And so again, we would love your feedback. We would love your insight. We would love your input, as long as it's nice. And
Speaking about a 5-star review, Shane actually has a speaking engagement coming up towards the end of the month here in April up in Salt Lake City. And it is about a certain event that's coming up that you're going to be highlighted at, and you're going to be one of the speakers, and it's going to be covering lots of different issues, but honing in on self-defense and awareness for women. You want to tell us a little bit about that as we wrap up?
well, actually, I've got 3 specific engagements. 2 are where I will actually be able to go out and do some of my trainings. So
Well,
excited
pardon
about
me.
that.
I said 1. She actually has 3.
I have 3. I guess I
Okay.
should let people know that in
Thank you for
advance,
saying,
but-
not saying that you have 10 and I only said 1. So anyway,
But that will be where I'll be able to do some of my self-defense trainings. And the other one is actually a live speaking engagement for a conference that they're doing, where I'll be able to go into boundaries and awareness for women. So
excellent.
pretty exciting.
And are we filming all that so they can actually get a downloaded copy later on? Do we know yet?
Do you know? I don't know that yet, but
We'll keep you posted
we'll
on
see
that.
what we can do on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, that
You wanna tell about yours as well?
selfless plug, and
You wanna tell
well,
about yours?
I've got a couple of speaking engagements towards the end of the month for one of the products that is really doing amazing things for individuals that may have traumatic brain injury, TBI, or PTSD. For a lot of our veterans, it's also helping with anxiety issues and also with depression. And it's a natural-based product. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to be speaking about that and our foundation and how a lot of our veterans are taking advantage of that particular product. So that'll be coming up, a couple of speaking engagements at the end of the month as well. So we've got a lot of stuff happening with speaking.
Awesome. Yay for us.
Yeah, it'll be good. And those will be downloadable as well. But for now, this has been a fun show. Great job.
You too.
Nicely done. We've talked about target marketing. Hopefully it's been helpful for you all. As always, as we wrap up the show, we want to give a big shout out and a thank you again to our veterans, to our military families, and our active duty personnel who have served our country so valiantly and so bravely. And thank you again for all that you do to keep us safe and to keep us free. And thank you again to the entrepreneurs of the world who are out there swinging away every day, creating jobs, creating solutions, coming up with solutions to different challenges and different things that are out there that need to be fixed, but can be done so even better through a small business. This is the Entrepreneurs Radio Network show that you've been listening to. I'm Brian Hazelgren, along with Shane Chance on every show. Hope you make it a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bright star.